Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Timothy here with Jank Diver Gaming. We are drafting Unrestricted Cube tonight. I figured we haven't thrown one of these up since Crimson Vow, and we've gone through a lot of sets since the last time I recorded an Unrestricted draft. So, thanks for joining. We're joined here tonight by Doug, Lucas, Dave, Liam, I believe, Facebeard, Magylum, and Chris, plus myself. Looks like Chris might be passing to me tonight. If you haven't joined us for one of these before, Unrestricted Cube is an arena-only cube featuring basically anything that is legal on the platform. And we're playing an 8-person pod, so we're using our 360 card cube. Everything in the cube will be drafted. If you want to get in on drafting something like this yourself, feel free to find us with the Discord link down below. But we've got everybody ready, checked up here, ready to go. So I will not be holding y'all up. Let's go ahead and kick off the draft and see what we got going. So immediate standout cards here. Do love me a good trio. There's 2 of them in the pack. Love me Rakdos. Kolaghan's Command is quite good. There's also Prismari Command as the poor man's Kolaghan's Command. They're actually both quite good. They deal with the Essica's Chariot. There's Showdown of the Scalds, which I haven't played in quite a while. I'm kind of drawn to this. There's also Chandra Awakened Inferno, which is not a card I love. There's a Doomblade here. There's Kefnet as just a generic powerful blue card. Nothing that screams obvious first pick. I think I'm between one of the commands, one of the triomes, Showdown of the Scalds, Kefnet. And I don't mind starting off with a triome. Don't love taking gold cards even in a cube environment here. I might just take Kefnet. It's a non-committal monocolored card. Goes really good in Grixis, goes really good in Control. Just very good. Stabilizes against aggro decks. I think that's what my heart's telling me tonight. We're not really playing for much on the line here, so we can kind of take whatever we feel like we're taking. I guess that's not absolutely true. We are sponsored by, or rather, we're in partnerships with Matcherino. Matcherino pays out the top half of our drafters with gems that they can use on Arena. So it does behoove us to draft something that's good. Ooh, Fable the Mirror Breaker. Right off the bat, I'm seeing quite a bit here. Omnath always calls my name, but I've been a little tamer on these multicolor decks. In cubes like this, you don't actually get a lot of leverage off of being the, 5-color multicolor deck like you would in, say, retail limited, because the power level of everything is jacked up, so it's not like you're cheating on the power level of cards, but you do get some really splashy stuff. I think I'm just going to take Fable the Mirror Breaker. I love Clone Crafter. Yes, we do have alchemy cards in here. It is worth noting, however, for these cards that have been modified on Arena that we're using the original versions. So Omnath does have a retrain that you can see here, but the Omnath that we'll be playing is the original, whereas actual digital-only cards are whatever the current printing is. Fable the Mirror Breaker is really strong. Fits a lot of different decks. Doesn't necessarily gel with God Eternal Kefnet in any meaningful way. I could take a Clone Crafter here, which is a card that I'm quite enamored of. Ooh, Cyber Siphoner. Right off the bat. Oh, there's Goyf. I have not played with Goyf in the cube yet. We did get this card in the Historic, or was it Pioneer Anthology? Explorer Anthology, whatever it's called. I guess this would be Historic Anthology, but nice addition to the cube. Good classic card. I'm going to take Cyber Siphoner. This card is very, very good. 4 mana flash, 2/2, gets a spell back from your graveyard. Only costs 2 mana if you have no instants or sorceries in your hand. You can do these weird loops with the last ability. So taking this to pair with Kefnet, having 2 of the best spells payoffs, maybe wheeling like Soulscar Mage Sprite Dragon, even though those go in kind of a different style of deck than these cards. Generic red card here, not tied to anything. I am tempted to take Goyf and just see kind of how it plays out, but I'm going to take Siphoner. Follow that up with Faithless Looting. What are we seeing that's in the pack? A decent amount of blue. We've got some good white cards. Not a lot of red here. Some okay black. Some pretty middling black. Decent green cards. I don't like Cultivate really goes with the cards that we're playing here. It's not really the type of thing you want to spike off God Eternal Kefnet. Could see taking like March of Otherworldly Light to go with these 2. And lean more Control-ish or Jeskai-ish. Seagate Stormcaller is one of the weaker cards in the cube, I would say. And then Supreme Will I would take over Neutralize. I am tempted to take this March, though. And look to play maybe some sort of controlling game here. Brutal Cathar is fine, but you do want to be aggressive for this card. It's not a particularly good control card. I could take Faithless Luden, which is one of the better options with what I've already got, but it looks like red is drying up. I'll take March. Follow that up with Demonic Tutor, 5th pick. There's a Phyrexian Metamorph, which long gone are the days where Phyrexian Metamorph is like a powerhouse card, but it is a nice colorless card to have. I know you obviously it's a blue card, but you can put it in any deck. I'm going to take Demonic Tutor here. The table, or at least the 5 drafters before me, have disrespected the fact that Demonic Tutor is in this pack. Black doesn't look super cut. Cabaret Revels got nerfed a little bit with its mana value. It's still kind of a broken card, and Gruul has been quite good lately. I could see taking Lightning Strike here, but Demonic Tutor plays really well, and we're still kind of feeling out what we're doing here. I see the Shipwreck Marsh. If we're going to be some combination of control colors, we probably want to take some Mana Fixin'. We don't know exactly what we're going to be yet, but we do have 2 really powerful blue cards. We've got some good bread and butter cards across different colors. I should just take Mana Fixin' here. Demonic Tutor coming 5th pick does lead me to believe that I'm going to get black cards more heavily than some other cards. I haven't played with this card yet either, but it's quite good. I'll let you read it there. There's also an Inspiring Advantage if I thought I was Jeskai, but that Demonic Tutor might throw me off. Ooh, there's a Fabled Passage. Also Xander's Lounge, which is the Grixis mana fixer. So if we put that on the sidelines, would we... This is a good question. Do you take Xander's Lounge or do you take Fabled Passage? I think you just take the triple color fixer, right? Over the Fabled Passage? Because, yeah, I mean, that's got to be right? Like, if you know for a fact you're Grixis, you just take the triple color Triome before you take Fabled Passage, right? If I knew my deck was going to look like this and play all 5 of these cards, maybe we would take Fabled Passage at that point. This has to be Xander's Lounge, though, which is a good sign for Fixin'. Some good white aggro cards here. There's also a Censor and an Essence Scatter. One of the moves that we've done recently is trying to up the number of interactive 2-mana counter spells that are in the cube, so that control has a chance against the rest of the field. It does struggle a little bit. Essence Scatter versus Censor. I feel like I would rather have Censor. Notice notably counter spells are not premium hits off God Eternal Kefnet. We don't really have any of those besides the Tutor at the moment. This is not out of the question, though. I think I'd rather take Essence Scatter than Censor, but that might be wrong. Let's just take Censor here. Could take Fateful Absence as well, but I did just pick this up, and Shipwreck Marsh, my Fixin' is leading me towards blue-black base. So let's grab Censor. It does cycle. Alright, disrespectfully, again, wheeling both of the commands here. I usually like Kolaghan's command better. You almost always take these with the intentions of hitting an artifact. There are some good artifacts to hit. Eska's Chariot, this is like always my out to Eska's Chariot. Either way, they're dipping in the red. This would be a red-black fixer. There's Dragon Skull Summit, so we're seeing some Rakdos stuff coming. I'm going to take Kolaghan's command here. It also loops with Cybus Siphoner, I believe. Get Cybus Siphoner back. I guess this shuffles back, so that is not true. It is a good spell to hit, though, off of Kefnet. I could also see taking Prismari Command because I am heavily blue right now. But I think Kolaghan's command is generally better. So I will take that. The March is looking a little weird here. We've got a Steam Vents. We got a Drowned Catacombs. Okay, Grixis is looking pretty open. I think I take Steam Vents here. Spread out the mana fixin' a little bit. Kaito Shizuki is fine for tempo decks. Not at its best in control decks, but still solid there as well. I wouldn't even mind this Magmatic Channeler, but I am going to take Steam Vents here over Check Land and a Fast Land. And that's a good sign. I don't like Sprite Dragon in decks like this. There is maybe a world where I end up on the more aggressive side. What was the other? Oh, it was Soulscar Mage. And Soulscar Mage is down and out here, but that doesn't matter much because that was probably taken by like a Mono Red or Boros Drafter. It could also take Glasspool Mimic, which can copy the token. Cybus Siphoner, currently that's it. Highly doubt this is good in my deck. Could also take Settle the Wreckage, but we don't have any white fixers. Sprite Dragon, I think, is very unlikely to make the final cut of this deck, but we'll see how it all shapes out. So this is the deck I'm looking at right now. And we got Supreme Will plus Neutralize back. I will take Supreme Will. I think this card is just significantly better than Neutralize almost every single time. It does the counter spell mode. It does the cantrip mode better. It's easier to cast. We'll Cultivate here. If we wanted to be really funky, but I don't think we want to be that funky. Bunch of stuff I'm not going to play. Don't think we're going to get green in this deck, so I'm not sure I need this. I'm going to go ahead and take this card from someone so they can't play it against me. And Premium Blank Target. Alright, we got a nice little Gruul deck. Nice little Alchemy Gruul deck sitting here in the sideboard. Alright, pack 2 standout cards. There's Time Warp, which is both very good off Kefnet. It's probably the best thing you can hit off Kefnet. It's quite good with Saiba Siphoner. It's pretty good with Fable the Mirror Breaker, so this looks pretty good. We don't have any Planeswalkers, but it's good with those. Abrade and Play with Fire are obviously going to be really good. We don't actually have a lot of hard removal at the moment. We didn't get a lot. There's Watery Grave. There's also Predatory Sludge. Sludge is good in Grixis decks that are aiming to kill all of your opponent's creatures, because then you use the Sludge as a win con. It's a little clunky. I actually don't like Narset very much these days. I think I'm leaning towards Time Warp or Abrade Play with Fire. Lelia, very, very good card. Not great for this style of deck. I'm going to take the Time Warp and hope to wheel one of those removal spells. Fire Prophecy's good. Ledger Shredder is very good. I don't know how much of a Ledger Shredder deck this is. Extinction Event is another black sweeper that we added to hopefully be able to combat some of the shenanigans going on in this cube. Aggro shenanigans. I wonder if I'm supposed to take that here. Could just take Fire Prophecy. I'm going to cut this Sprite Dragon and this March for now. The Fire Prophecy is probably the card I need most. Ledger Shredder is also very good, but a lot better when you have the cantrips and stuff like that, which we don't currently have. I wonder if I'm supposed to take this, but I do probably want a couple removal spells, so let's snatch one up. Storm Carved Coast is good. Dreadhorde Arcanist is pretty big swing and a miss here for what I'm looking at. I think this is an easy Storm Carved Coast. There's Ugin, which is one of the worst planeswalkers in the cube. Fine, but not great. There's also some blue-white lands that hopefully I wheel so that I could consider playing this March, because this is a very good removal spell. It's a good control card. It's a nice little catch-all. But I will take a Grixis land here. Bone Crusher Giant is quite good. Reject is actually surprisingly good, as much as, you know, this reads like filler Strixhaven common. This is often just a better version of Essence Scatter, since it hits planeswalkers and it exiles. Very, very relevant against the black recursive creatures. I do think this is just an easy Bone Crusher Giant. Liam, come back. There's Cold Steel Heart and there's Mind Stone, which are cards you can play in decks like this. Bone Crusher's good interaction, though. Thought Seize, Young Pyro, Opt, Glorybringer. There's Will here. This was an experimental card. Basically, it lets you steal one of your opponent's 4-mana or less creatures or artifacts for 2 turns. And then it obviously has the specialized side, which it doesn't matter what the specialized things do. It just gives you a way to sacrifice it. Thoughtseize is very good here. Opt is very good here. Glorybringer is fine, but not exactly what I'm looking for here. I'm hoping to get like a Storm's Wrath or Wheel the Extinction Event or something like that. How bad does this deck want Thoughtseize? It's good off Kefnet. We're not going to have Kefnet every game. Young Pyromancer. Again, the Sprite Dragon Young Pyromancer deck doesn't look like it's coming together here. And then Opt is obviously fantastic. I'm going to take the more powerful card with Thoughtseize and be sad about that cantrip going. Unholy Heat is an excellent removal spell. We're almost assuredly snapping that off. Painful Bond. I always have to read this card, so it affects your spells that cost 3 or less. So actually a pretty good draw spell when you have a bunch of expensive stuff, which we don't actually have a bunch of expensive stuff. It's just a fine draw spell, but it adds damage. It basically deals damage to you in a style of deck that's already going to be taking damage and probably playing from behind more often than not. I like Reckoner Bakebuster, but I think this is an easy Unholy Heat. Here, there's some options here. I mean, Den of the Bugbear is fine, but I think I want to prioritize mana fixin' for my land drops here. There's Sedgemoor Witch, which looks like it's pretty good in this deck here. I have a decent amount of spells going on. In fact, I'm actually heavily spelled. There's also Agent of Rafine, which is a card that's impressed me. It reads like, yeah, I'm getting a random card from my opponent, but it just says 2 mana tap, draw a card. It does draw from your opponent's deck, so you're not guaranteed to like play into your own game plan, but it can hit lands, you know, guarantee that you've got action going on. I think I'm going to take it over Sedgemoor Witch here. Fatal Push, Brainstorm, Expressive Iteration, Electrostatic Blast. Youch. That is a wild number of these cards to see this late, and none of them are going to wheel. This is the pack that will not wheel. Yikes. I mean, it means my lane is open. I'm doing fine on removal. I have Bone Crusher, Fire Prophecy, Unholy Heat, so I don't feel like I'm going to be at a huge loss if I don't take Push. So it comes down to these 2 card selection cards. I think I'm going to take Expressive Iteration as just like the rawly more powerful card. Brainstorm is a cantrip. It's decent, but it doesn't do too much. Brainstorm with Kefnet, though, is pretty sweet because you can set up like your Time Warp on top of your deck. I still think I'm going to take Expressive Iteration here and be a little sad about it. Narset Wield, Watery Grave Wield. We'll take that. And Pompous Stitcher, we let Sedgemoor Witch go by. I don't think Sedgemoor Witch will wheel. It looks like I'm holding everybody up too. I'm just going to take Thassa's Intervention as an interactive potential counterspell here. Thirst for Discovery. Don't think Dreadhorde Arcanist is making it. Don't mind me a Mana War in these styles of decks, but I'll take a Thirst. I'll get a little thirsty. Take a Mind Stone here, which might make the deck. Bunch of 2 mana things. We'll take Rite of Oblivion here as a card I don't want people to cast against my creatures, and maybe we'll consider a Painful Bond. In control matchups, Painful Bond's quite good. But against aggro decks, it draws you 2 cards, but then you take like 4 or 5 damage over the course of the rest of the game. This used to only affect things that cost 3 or more, so it was like perfect for streamlined aggressive decks that had all 1s and 2s. But I guess they realized that then it's just 2 mana instant draw 2. It was like excellent for those decks, and this was a significant nerf to the point where I think it's just kind of medium. It's not the card draw you necessarily want for control decks, which is what we're at. Didn't get Extinction Event back. We're going to have to prioritize a sweeper pretty highly, I think. Got a lot of card draw. Could use maybe another finisher, like a Sublime Epiphany, I think would be pretty good here. We do have Hard Evidence, one of my favorite cards in the cube. And I think there's like nothing else I even care about here. Hard Evidence, just sometimes this is better than the cantrips like Opt. In fact, there are a lot of times that this is just better because it'll draw you the card eventually. You do have to invest more mana into it, but sometimes this blocks like 8-10 damage because they play a 2-1, you play this, and it just basically nullifies their 2-1. There is nothing else in this pack that I want, so easy Hard Evidence. Karoxa Consider. Drown in the Lock is pretty medium. Kroxa's a win con. Kroxa is a win con. Let's see. We got Kolaghan's Command on the wheel. So is there a Rakdos drafter at the table now? I don't think there's an Is It drafter at the table. There's no way. I think my deck just wants Consider. But Kroxa is a real win condition for these sorts of decks. I don't have a lot of recursion for my graveyard, so it makes use of the graveyard when I otherwise wouldn't. I will prioritize more fixin' if I see it here. Could just take Consider, though. Is Consider triggering anything? Am I? Not really. I don't have, like, Papa Stitcher, Sedgemoor Witch. The Ledger Shredder obviously didn't wheel. I'm going to take Kroxa here. Ooh, I love Brazen Borrower. Very good options here. Brazen Borrower is great. Gives me a pseudo win con. It's not like the most reliable. There's a Flame Blessed Bolt as another 1 mana interactive spell. This is not the deck for Spectral Adversary. Molten Impact might even be the pick. Deals 4 damage to a creature or planeswalker. And then the next spell you cast just guarantees you get the full 4 damage off of it. Undersimplify is a better Quench variant here. There's also Rafine's Tower, which can operate as a blue-black land. Memory Deluge also pretty good. I have a tough time passing Brazen Borrower. It gives me another facet to fight on. Like, obviously, sometimes my opponents are going to resolve things like this that my removal spells aren't going to deal with, so Brazen Borrow gives me a potential out. Here, look down the line. There's Search for Azcanta, which is fine. Retrofitter Foundry. I haven't played with this card. I watched it in action the other day, and it looked decent. I don't know if my deck's going to have that big of a chokehold on the game that I'm going to have time to use this as my win con. I'd rather take Sorin here, but Sorin is very hard to cast at the moment. What else am I taking if not Sorin? I could take Davriel's Withering as a cheap way to interact with a small creature. This is actually quite good against those recursive creatures like the Shade and Gutter Bones and stuff like that. I mean, it's basically one of these black cards. There's also Search. Search is good. It's kind of counteractive with Kroxa, but it is good with Fable. I find this card to be quite slow these days, but I think I might just take Search over a cheap removal spell here. I don't know if that's right. It's not like I'm loaded up on removal. Let's take Search for Azcanta. Fills up the graveyard for, whatchamacallit. Ooh, Counterspell is perfect. This card is messed up. Also Clearwater Pathway. Also Ralgren Triome. And Brawl, which is playable here. Brawl's actually not terrible. I think this is easy Counterspell. It puts me at 23 playables. I really need to... I mean, I wonder if I'm supposed to just take a land here. Like, pretty heavy Grixis, and I don't have the mana fix-in for it to really work out. Hall of the Storm Giants is a win con. Fate and Hope is a cheap bounce spell. Don't want too many bounce spells. Especially not with a sweeper here. It can be 1-for-1 in a lot. There's Ashiok. Ashiok is a good win con. I might take that. And then Dread Fugue as a cheap interactive piece. Take Ashiok here. And, I mean, I would just snap mana fixin' for the rest of this pack if I could. There's Mazebind Tome. I'm going to take Evolving Wilds. I think my deck just needs it. Evolving Wilds also decent with Kroxa. Professional, as always, right on time. Text message, loud beep. Take Evolving Wilds. Here we have Zagoth Triome as a tapped blue-black land. Seems like a pretty easy pick out of this pack. Shatter and Finale is quite powerful, but you do need creatures to sacrifice for it. Otherwise, it's just kind of whatever. And back to the open impact that didn't have anything the first time. Nothing that I think completely hoses me, so I'll take Sin Prodder. Maybe there's some weird match like Control Mirror where I bring Sin Prodder in. People bring all the removal spells out. I bring a Sin Prodder in. Surprise, gotcha. Consider Wield. Oh, that's a considerable wheel you got there. Oh, is it open? Is it? Do I want another cheap counterspell or do I want another cheap removal spell? This one lets me play at instant speed. This one would also let me play at instant speed. This one's more, pardon the pun, this one's more impactful. Deals with bigger things. Can it Planeswalkers? Does hit Planeswalkers. This cannot... Well, I guess, yeah, this cannot hit anything. I wonder if I just want the Undersimplify more here to play at instant speed. I don't know. What would y'all take? I don't think it's Spell Pierce or Spectral Adversary. If I take Spell Pierce, I'm just boarding it immediately. So it's definitely one of these two. I could see a case for Fire Prophecy. Alright. Take the Undersimplify. Really late season Pyro. Don't think this is a season Pyro deck, though. It's not really the way I want to get Kroxa online. Oh, Davriel's Withering came back, though. We could take that. Brawl came back. These are all considerations here. I think we're going to cut Painful Bond for sure. This is usually 3. Cut Thirst for Discovery. Still got to make a decent number of cuts here. I could cut Davriel's Withering just to be sure that I'm using it against decks where it's going to be good. Mind Stone can probably come out here. What else we got going on? 2 more picks. Sorry, receiving all sorts of phone calls. Anytime I decide that I'm going to record, we get phone calls. I am a little sad. We saw Extinction Event. I don't think we saw Languish. If we did, it was pretty early on. I should probably just cut that Hopeful Initiate. But Demonic Tutor is significantly better when you have a sweeper that you can go get. It is nice that I have like the I mean it's pretty powerful in the range of things that it can do here. But we ended up with Grixis Control. Very light on creatures. We're at 25 cards. We got to cut 2. I could see cutting. Let's see. Could potentially cut stuff like this. Undersimplify should be good against most players. Sensor's fine. Baral, I tend to like Baral, but it's the reduction's actually not doing much. It reduces Time Warp. It reduces like my 3s down to 2s and then lets me double spell more often. I could board that in against people who are just killing me. And then there's like Davriel's Withering, which against Gruul or against a control matchup, this is just like a miserable removal spell. Whereas things like Unholy Heat, Fire Prophecy, Bone Crusher Giant still give you extra utility against those sorts of decks. This is obviously very good against those little weenie decks, but I think I want to know that I'm in the matchup for that first. And then Cut and Brawl does cut a blocker, but again, I don't know. That does make my deck pretty weak to little small ball creature decks, but I think we're going to cut that and play something like this. Blue-black, anything blue-black, blue-black, blue-red. All 3, blue-red. Mana Fixin' is fine here. Not, like, completely off the wall excellent, but it is fine. Maybe light on good win conditions. Kefnet and Ashiok are basically what I'm trying to win the game with. I guess we've got Kroxa as a win con as well. We've got some perfectly fine broken Eldraine cards here to try to win the game with. So I think this is what we're going to run. I will import this to Arena on my own time and fix up the lands and all that good stuff. And you'll probably see me here for match 1 against whomever. And you can let me know if you would play this deck differently, what you would board differently. There is like a very small case for doing something like this. Add in these 2 cards and relying on like Evolving Wilds, a Plains, and a Bright Climb Pathway to fetch a white source for us, but I think since we're making cuts, we don't really have to do that. March is very good in decks like this. It's very good with Kefnet, it's decent with Cyber Siphoner, but if we were hurting for cards and we were trying to add cards to the deck, I might consider that. As it is, we're cutting cards from the deck, so I don't think we need to do that. So that's going to go ahead and do it for the draft. Thanks for watching, and I will catch up with everybody here in match number 1. Alright, as promised, we're here for match number 1 against Dave. Basically Nemesis at this point. Somehow beats me every single time. I assume he's cheating. This is a good opening hand. I don't know what he's playing, but Kolaghan's Command hopefully helps out. We can tutor for something that gets us in the game. Start off with a lounge here. Don't mind drawing extra lands. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Up against an unknown opponent here, this looks like a perfectly fine hand. Hopefully it's not straight up Boros aggro, because Kolaghan's Command is a little bit slow against that deck, but at least we have all of our colors going on here. We've got one of our win cons. Alright, this does not look like Boros aggro, which is nice. Do we tutor on turn 2 and we don't know what we're tutoring for? We could go get like Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Could also just crack the Evolving Wilds and have the rest of my lands come in tapped here. This could be like an Omnath deck of some sort. I think I'd rather just do this. Maybe save tutor later on for a turn where I can like tutor for Time Warp. I don't know. What land do we get? I have black, black, blue, blue, red, red. I think I just get another blue here. It's my most mana intensive color. And pass. Give us a little more info to go off of here. Oh, that's not what I was expecting. Oh, this can be a good Kolaghan's Command. Alright, I'll just fire it off now. Destroy the ramp here. They chose black, which is interesting that you would need Temur Triome into 2 black sources. Oh, this is 100% some sort of control deck. So this might be like just a blue-green land or something, and this is like Sultai. Okay, I have no idea what's going on anymore. This is a good freebooter. I mean, I guess you take Ashiok here, right? Otherwise, Ashiok's just going to bounce this eventually. Make me tutor for something that deals with Freebooter, I guess. Thankfully, Freebooter's not the nastiest card here my opponent could play. If they take tutor, I assume that means we have an answer for Ashiok, but I have a bunch of cheap burn and stuff. I don't think I even need to tutor for an answer to kill this necessarily. Expressive Iteration is a great draw there. Actually, fantastic draw. Alright, we're going to put Bone Crusher in hand and cast... Oh, actually, I can't get both. Thoughtseize. Actually, I can get both, right? So I can put Bone Crusher in hand and just exile Thoughtseize. Normally, you want the land, right? But then I can Thoughtseize this turn, clear the way for whatever's coming up. Have Bone Crusher for this Freebooter. I still have black up, yeah. So we will put Bone Crusher into hand. Or do I want to just Bone Crusher this turn and kill this? There's no rush on killing the Freebooter necessarily. It does let me Ashiok next turn. So actually, maybe I put Thoughtseize in my hand. I exile Bone Crusher and I just do that now so that I can play Ashiok next turn and still have Thoughtseize available on a later turn, which is actually not bad. So yeah, I think I'm actually going to put Thoughtseize in hand. I'm going to exile, or put Island into library, exile Bone Crusher, cast Bone Crusher, and we have to do that now. Get my Ashiok back. We have a Bone Crusher available, and opponent does not know about the Thoughtseize. This is wild. Yeah, so this is like blue-red. Are they also... Are you also Grixis? Dave, have some originality, will you? I'm not going to just jam Ashiok here into nothing, but I do get to Thoughtseize and hold up Cyba Siphoner, which is nice. Let's play land and see what you got. Shark Ugin, good to know. I can kind of play around that shark. I think I might just take Ugin, play Ashiok and plus. Or I guess I can't play Ashiok this turn. I should just take the shark, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to take shark and play Bone Crusher. It leaves my opponent without a play next turn. This glorified removal spell clears the way for Ashiok, although this can't counter Planeswalkers anyway, but it does pressure the Ashiok. Yeah, opponent's on Grixis control here. Interesting. Gotta love, gotta love Grixis mirrors. Okay, a Braid's nice. Braid does answer my creature. Well, Thassa's not bad. Although if I don't play Ashiok this turn... Let's see. They need to draw land. Gonna say I might be able to grab this Kolaghan's Command with Cyba Siphoner, but I can't. So if I play Ashiok and I just plus, they play this and they kill Ashiok, I just kill them with the token. So I think that's fine. They need to draw a land to cast this anyway. If they play this and just plus instead of destroying Ashiok, I can bounce it. I think I'm just gonna play Ashiok here. We will... Non-land, yeah, that doesn't do anything. Make it 2-3. Oh, Bolus is decent. I guess I'm going to pitch Thassa's Intervention here. And then we will just minus on this Bolus. And I have Censor for this. Don't actually have a answer for that. I'll just get this. They're probably going to discard Ugin here. Oh, that's so good because I have Censor in hand. Alright. I did not think... Oh, they have the Control Hoser Chandra as well. Yikes. Okay. I mean, Sensor is amazing against Little Oog here. Cast Cyber Siphoner. Yeah. Can't get Epiphanied here. Opponent didn't play land, so probably, I mean, drew something, right? Otherwise, you just take land here. I think I want just Thassa's Intervention. Just kind of try to roll with what I got on board. Brazen Borrower's nice. We've drawn well this game. Drew like exact requisite number of lands and then never drew another land. Sometimes it works out like that. Infernal Grasp a token. We don't fight over that. We're not worried about milling opponent here. I will counter Ugin. Yeah, I gotta watch out for that Chandra. Control Hoser from the control deck. This is the type of deck where they might take out some of their removal if I don't show them too many creatures, and then I might get away with like adding Sin Prodder to the deck. Alright, we got ahead there. We drew, that Expressive Iteration was fantastic. Card usually is. So here, threats from the opponent, mostly Planeswalkers. A couple creatures scattered. We didn't actually see a lot of their deck, but enough that I still need to keep in some like catch-all removal. I don't have a lot of that, but like this looks worse. This looks better. Brawl. I think I am going to take put Sin Prodder in here. They're still going to keep in a couple removal spells. Search for Asgantis just always weak on the draw from my experience. And they're probably, yeah, they're probably going to do the same kind of thing I am, where they're going to take out a few removal spells but keep in a couple for some key creatures. The cheap counter spells seem pretty important. I might cut like Search, Fire Prophecy. They're not going to have a lot of creatures that die to Fire Prophecy. We saw one, but we also saw a bunch of Planeswalkers we're going to need to deal with. Extinction Event is good, but doesn't hurt that bad. Sin Prodder. Just try to outcard them here. They might have me on card quality from what I saw, but I might have them on sheer number of cards. Sprite Dragon? Sprite Dragon's a little if. Alright. Let's see if we can just get them with value instead of pure card draw. Because a card like Bolus, you know, 4/4, kind of hard for my deck to deal with once it's resolved. But we will be playing from the draw here. Agent of Rafine. If they don't have a removal spell in the first 2 turns, let's start drawing cards. This is not an ideal hand, obviously. I've got 3 cards I can't cast, kind of banking on Agent, but I'm also on the draw. I could hit red sources pretty easily here. I think Dave took a mulligan in that first game. I'm not 100% sure. Just Ketria Triome. Alright, not bad. So we can curve into spells. I can't actually currently cast or play this untapped, but they might just pop off Agent right now before I can start drawing cards. Fair enough. Okay. Do we express it? We don't expressive iteration here, right? Just a cantrip, basically. I don't think we do that. Let's go ahead and get the black in play. Pass turn. See what's coming up. Fable on turn 3. Okay, clear the way. I imagine you just take Fable here. Oh, I probably should have played Mountain so that I could expressive iteration into a land drop. It's going to come untapped anyway. I could play Swamp for turn if need be. Alright, they took my play on turn 3. Get him with the Kroxa, or the Kroxa into the Hard Evidence, not bad. So that's red-black. They see this coming. Den of the Bugbear, worth knowing. Every piece of cardboard matters in this matchup, though. So being able to eat a land is better than it might seem, especially when we have a Lumen Bugbear on the way. There's Ashiok. We're going to go for iteration and see what opponent does. Okay. I think I take the Thoughtseize, put the Kefnet in my hand. I can play land drops out. Kefnet to hand. Shuffle back Island. Thoughtseize. And play... I have double blue. Let's get another mountain. Thoughtseize you. I don't have double black for Kroxa yet, but I will be actually very close to casting it. I might die. Liliana Golos. Youch. Lily actually is kind of a problem. Yeah, we just take Golos here. And it looks like we're going to be on Den of the Bugbear Beatdown, though, which actually might backfire. I mean, maybe not backfire in the sense that, like, it's going to be that bad, but I can play Ashiok and minus on this token to get a card out of their hand. I can also just play Kefnet. No, we don't want to block there. We block here. Censor. That would be a lot better if I had a... They don't know about these cards. Kind of have to play to the board. So I go minus on Ashiok, hit this. They discard this, they play Lily and start plussing, or they attack down Ashiok. They would kill it, right? Because I block the 3, it takes 1, 2 from the Goblin. What if I Ashiok plus? They play Liliana. They sack? Ashiok plus actually doesn't seem bad here. Because they could attack with this. They're not going to just attack with this, and then Liliana's not actually great. Yeah, I think the play is Ashiok plus. And not attack with Crab. So that probably puts a stop to Den of the Bugbear for now. If they have a clean removal spell for Ashiok, so be it. Attacking me probably means we just have a removal spell, the Celestus. Okay, they don't have 6th land, so I might be able to get them with Censor. I wonder if I just bounce this with Ashiok. And just don't attack. I have Censor for something interactive here. I mean, I could plus again. I think I'm going to minus on something. If I minus on this, they have to discard a card. If I minus on Celestus, they just discard Celestus. So I think I do minus on this Goblin. Why did they attack me, though, and not Ashiok? I think I want to get the cardboard out of their hand here. Oh, their card is better than Ashiok. So we cast Painful Bond. We hold up Censor. I'm coming dangerously close to dying at that point. Counterspell. Very nice. And we have Bone Crusher for Freebooter. So here, if I attack and they suit up Den of the Bugbear, 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. They attack, they get the 1/1. I can probably just not attack this turn. I'm representing a lot of damage to myself, of course. Kroxa at the ready when we find another black source. But this is a good hand. They wanted... Their card was better than Liliana, though, so that's a little questionable for me. I wonder what that means. Chandra? 6 mana Chandra? Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Because that would be why you attack here, right? I can't counter 6 mana Chandra. Ayo. It happens. And are we going to plus?
Anyone who stands in my way is getting sizzled.
Okay. So we do plus. Now my life total matters a lot. So I think I'm going to go ahead and kill Freebooter now. Ashiok can bounce this for a turn. The 1 damage I'm using to kill this is the same 1 damage I would take off Freebooter hitting me, so that's not really going to change too much from my perspective. Okay, we have a clock, though. Oh, Kolaghan's command is so good here. It's so good. So we bounce Chandra, and then we K-command Celestis. So they have to discard a card. We're just going to take everything that's not Den of the Bugbear from them here. They exiled Drown in the Lock, and we shaboom. Destroy, discard. I think I wait 1 more turn here to just be able to block this Bugbear. I am under pressure now, though. Giving him a 1/1. I think I wait an additional turn and just hold up Counterspell. Yeah. I mean, I got to start killing him quick, but that's where Kefnet comes in handy. Okay, Proven Grounds is good. I'm probably going to cycle Sensor here. I could just draw, actually. I can draw. Okay, Triumph. Take some damage. It's nighttime, apparently. Brazen Burrower can't bounce lands. So, I don't want to tap out. I think Bone Crusher puts me to 7. I think I can kill them before they kill me. And they're using their whole turn to Den of the Bugbear, so I don't think that's going to happen. This lets me keep up Counterspell plus Sensor. It just hits them super hard. Oh, I didn't play the Triumph. I did not play my land. Well, you didn't come here for optimal play. Alright. Go to 6. They could have Shark, but that deals with Shark. Let's play that now while we're thinking about it, and I am just going to jam. Guardian Idol land. Pass. Let's see if Shark comes down here. That's Shark. We counter Shark. And Shark is also perpetually smaller. Comes back as a 3/4 now. If they do nothing, I'll just flash in Borrower on my end step here. And that's a lethal attack. Alright. Triumph land doesn't quite get it done, and that should be game. Yeah, we can block old Buggy here. And Dave, that should be it. Oh man, we we probably drew as well as we could possibly draw, so not gonna complain. Retrofitter Foundry, nice. Yeah. All right. We had the Grixis off, and I emerged Grixis Victorian? Victor. That's the word I'm looking for, Victor. Okay. Sweet start. That puts us at 1-0 for the night. You don't need to see all the in-between stuff, so you will see me back here for match number 2. All right, welcome back. For you, it's probably been about 2 seconds. For me, it's been like 45 minutes, so we'll see if we remember what we're playing. We're against Megillum here, and we are on the play, which is good. I did sneak a peek at some action that was happening after our game ended, and it looks like Megillum is on basically Rakdos Aristocrats, looked heavy on mono black, or heavy on black, I should say. This is not a particularly great hand against them. Undersimplify is good. It's going to snipe like their 2-drop play, but I have 2 spells I can't cast. Still think I'm better off trying to find a black source than I am to mulligan something that interacts on turn 2, especially since black source opens up this Kolaghan's command. They're a mix between aristocrats and black-based aggro, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully no 1-drop. Did see Chris, who's also on Rakdos aggro somehow, has a lot of the aggressive black 1-drops, but yeah, I was going to say Okiba Reckoner Raid. Did see that one. Xander's Lounge gives us black, but it's pretty, oh man, it's pretty important to have the Undersimplify up on turn 2 here. Alright, I'll keep up the counter spell. If this hits like a Tenacious Underdog or a Woe Strider, I guess it won't hit Woe Strider, but Skyclave Shade, Shadow Heart's worth counter in here. It's not one of the recursive creatures, but still just get that creature off board. Now we're in a little bit of trouble. A lot of black spells, not a lot to do with them. Kolaghan's Command should be pretty good. Takenuma. Oh, that's actually not hexproof. Trample, perfect. So I get the... Wow. Yeah, I'm drawing very well here. So I get the Thoughtseize plus Kolaghan's Command here. And I get to do it before Mechagodzilla becomes a problem. Alright, so we have Kalitas, Push, Sludge, Shade. I don't think I take Kalitas here. These are going to be off board, which leaves me with just Kroxa. I'm tempted to just take the Sludge. The Shade is also going to be a problem in the long game here. I mean, everything, like all the creatures that resolve are going to be problems. So I guess my game plan is try to get Kroxa going, but then push. I'm going to have to draw out of what's happening here anyway. But Kalitas is just worse for me than Shade. If they draw a land, they'll play Kalitas. I'm not worried about push right now, so I think I'll just get rid of this Sludge. Yeah. Maybe I should just get rid of Kalitas. It's not really a big deal if they play this Sludge, right? Kalitas has the potential to be a bigger threat. If they play Sludge, that's basically the same as them playing Shade. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. Maybe that's wrong because they can't currently cast it, but let's get rid of the 2 creatures, pass, and hope we draw well. I guess Kalitas would make Kroxa particularly bad too, so I think all in all, I'm supposed to get rid of Kalitas there. Because them playing the Sludge just means that it has no ability, it's just a 3/3 for 3. This Shade is going to put in a little bit of work. Good draw, good draw. Let's see what they discard to Kroxa first. I could also just go... I don't want a Bone Crusher plus cast Bone Crusher in the same turn, because then it's opened up to Fatal Push. Oh, look at that. Oh my god. Alright, let's do this. Let's go and see what we get with Kroxa first. Yep. We can cast Kroxa at some point. Maybe they discard Push? Discard Bloodchief Thirst. Okay. I'd rather them discard that one. So now we're going to play land. We're going to pass the turn. We're probably going to Bone Crusher this. Hopefully they either don't draw a land or they play land first. Yeah, that's good. So now I can kill this. They can't get it back this turn. They're going to go ahead and play that Sludge, but that's fine. Still need to draw well. And they do have this push for Kroxa at some point. Sludge can name one of my lands. I can't imagine that matters this game. Alright, that's not drawing well. We're just going to go ahead and put Bone Crusher Giant on board. This thing has Menace, though. Let's go ahead and play our land drops and pass. Fatal Push currently doesn't kill Bone Crusher. I am a little surprised to see them... Oh, are they going to target Bone Crusher? No, opponent, don't do that. Because this is a legal target. They could cast Bone Crusher Giant, or they could Fatal Push Bone Crusher Giant right now. It would resolve, they would take 2 damage from this ability, and then Fatal Push would go to their graveyard, and my Bone Crusher would still be there. Oof. Alright, opponent is going to kill me very fast here. Hard Evidence. Sure. That does block Sludge. Let's draw. Need a removal spell for Spawn now. Supreme Will... either counter something this turn or digs for a following turn. Spawn's gonna nug me for 5 this turn. So I can block Sludge. If they... Okay, oh yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense. So 4, 5, 6, 7 puts me down to 5. I guess I just do this now because I'm not doing anything else this turn. Let's go ahead and look. Do I do this now? What if they cast something bad? What? Push Resolve and see if they go for anything before attacks here. Yep, jamming. We gotta find an answer for spawn immediately. Okay. It's not an answer for spawn immediately. Unholy Heat. Unholy Heat. Oof. So this kills me. I can't get anything else in the graveyard. I can Kroxa and eat the cards, but that's it. So I believe I'm just dead here. I will see what their last card is, though. It wasn't a land, they didn't play it, so it's a spell that might be good to know about. Alright, I drew well. They drew well. Their cards stacked up better. Obnixilis. Okay. Give them the GG there. Okay, did need them to brick a little bit there. Spawn of Mayhem was particularly nasty. They've got removal. They probably don't have a ton. I mean, that's not true. I saw a Lightning Strike in their game. They've got some good stuff. I think Davriel's Withering comes in. It almost cleanly answers like the Skyclave Shade. Deals with Shadowheart, deals with Reckoner Raid. It's not great against a lot of other things, but definitely comes in here. Sin Prodder, we will consider. This is just not a matchup where I want this to be one of the cards in my hand. I don't want Painful Bond here. If I could sneak this in, I would. The March also seems very good in this matchup, but I don't know if we can get away with it. Baral is probably decent as well. So those are considerations coming out. Search for Escanta. Agent of Rafine is fine. Most of the counter spells I like here. Interventions, whatever. I think I get them with the cheap counter spells. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is pretty good. Even in a deck like this, I think I just want Thoughtseize. K Command was great. Not enough to win me the game, but still great. I think I want most of this. Is there something I don't want to bring in? I think I want as much removal as possible. Sin Prodder's a little gimmicky, but it does let me keep up with them. Alright, I think I'm going to keep Baral out. Brawl doesn't block that much. It's not reducing the cost of that many spells. Let's go and try something like this here. Taking an L early on to a flurry of aggressive black creatures. And I will play first. I think this is actually a keep. Xander's Lounge for the Consider gives me, what, 3 looks at a second land, and then I've got enough interaction on a second land. Red or blue source. I'm going to keep this. And, hey, if I get mana screwed, I get mana screwed. But I get a draw, I get a Consider. If the top card's a land, I'll keep it. If not, I get to dig 1 deeper. Put that in the graveyard. There we go. We did it, y'all. Cybus Scepter does not shuffle back if it dies. Alright. Did not hit an additional land there, but we do have Expressive Iteration. Very good. So we will put Censor in hand. They've got 3s and 4s I might want to counter. I'm not going to be able to counter 3 here, but I don't think I want to Thoughtseize on this board. So I'll put Censor in hand, shuffle back Thoughtseize, and exile, play Hard Evidence. Ship the turn. Okay, Sanguine Brushstroke. That's fine. That actually doesn't apply a ton of pressure here. Land is very good, so now I can keep up Censor for their 4-drop. I could also just slam Kefnet and They can push. Bloodchief's Thirst would take their whole turn. Getting Kefnet on board is so strong, but maybe I want to play very reactively. I guess if something like Spawn of Mayhem sticks here, or Kalitas, I do have Brazen Borrower to catch it. I think I just want to slam Kefnet and pass. Get that on board. Let you read this card if you're not familiar with it. Creates a Blood Artist and creates a Blood token. Very bloody card. Okay, that's not a replacement effect, so still triggers Blood Artist if they kill Kefnet here. Okay, they have the Bloodchief's Thirst. I think Kefnet's good enough. I do want to put it down below. Again, though, that took their whole turn, so hopefully I draw a land here and I can start double spelling with some more powerful stuff. That's pretty good, too. It means I don't necessarily have to keep up Censor. I could either draw or I could get Fable of the Mirror Breaker going. I draw now. Kefnet next turn. I think I like just not budging at the moment. I have Counterspell plus Clue token up. Hopefully I can catch something good here. It's fine. Probably Brazen Borrower that. And do it now, so it doesn't get hexproof. And hopefully they just pass here. I don't have to use a counterspell, so I can draw. I lose a life if they sack the blood. I think it used to gain them a life as well. Alright, so they're pitching. Means they don't have any 2-drops. Okay, that's good. So I get to draw here, and I also get to draw into Kefnet on my next turn. I'll probably just replay Kefnet. I could also wait on Kefnet and go like Fable plus land. Oh, they have Fatal Push here? Are they going to Fatal Push my crab? Okay. So, yeah, maybe wait on Fatal Push. The problem is this thing dies to Fatal Push. I could also go for Ashiok minus, get this off board. Just get Ashiok going. I mean, I kind of like the idea of playing proactively now. Especially now that I know my counterspells aren't necessarily getting anything. I guess I could go Fable, and then when they push on end step, I could censor it. Could also just let it go, let the Fable value go. I do want to be able to hold up at least a counterspell. I could also Brazen Borrower. There's a lot of things I could do here. Ashiok is the one that plays around push the best. So maybe I just go Ashiok bounce Blood Artist. Or Ashiok plus even. There's a lot of options here. I'm not entirely sure what's correct. I know nothing else about the top of my library. I think this is a tough turn. Do I care if they Fatal Push this thing? Get it out of their hand? Alright. Again, I really want to keep up some counterspells here. Okay, they do not have Fatal Push. It's interesting. Well, I can counter anything that costs 3 or 4 mana. This is fine. It's going to resolve now. Alright, we will catch Bastion with Censor. That's very good for us. Alright, not hexproof. Flying's perfect. Okay, flying's perfect. So now we discard... I don't think we discard anything. I kind of like my hand. Croxa is not a factor here. I'm just going to not do that. So we're going to go here. We're going to Ashiok back Mechagodzilla. And then I'm going to attack and make a token. And that lets me keep up Under Simplify. Lets me keep up Bone Crusher. They exiled land. Okay, let's attack with Goblin Magda. And get some damage rolling. Feels good. Seven mana. Alright, there goes Godzilla again. Does feel like their hand is a little bit clunky. Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Yes, please. Alright, Kolaghan's command one time. I guess I am out of answers for Mechagodzilla. It picked up Death Touch, that's fine. Get old Keekle Jeekle going. Let's go and make a token. And now here we don't have any more nonsense stuff going on, so we'll just play Kefnet and hold up our dudes. Kiki Jiki's not like anything amazing here. My opponent's running out of cards. We've dealt with things pretty squarely. This is a lot scarier on the draw than it is on the play, where they get going first. I don't have a catch-up spell like Extinction Event or anything like that. Opponent starts turn by Cycle and Triumph. That is good news for us. Do I end of turn Bone Crusher this Blood Artist. Alright, Obnixilis sacking. Alright. I guess I should have done this in response. That's fine, I've got these things under control here. I think I'm pretty set to win this one. I will decline. I'll take another 2 off the other Obnixilis. Two Rakdos drafters at the table, plus 2 Grixis drafters. Absolutely amazing. Let's let that resolve. Maybe they have Village Rites. Maybe that's the one black mana spell that we saw. Okay, they are getting priority, though. I don't want to go to for Village Rites on this if they have any sort of response. We will not do that. I will, however, just come at these Obnixilises. Let's go ahead and make another one of these. Let's Kiki one of these. Let's go to attacks. That one takes out this. Send these 3 at this just to guarantee that it dies. And just sit back here. Exiled some dudes. Alright, City Stalker Connoisseur is good to know about. Fatal Push was exiled there, so we can roll that one out. I think we're pretty far ahead here, though. Taking out the Obnixilises. That might be Village Rites. Nope, not Village Rites either. Might just be nothing.
Don't think you're some big hero.
Playing with fire by not killing this blood, this Blood Artist, but opponent does have Meat Hook Massacre in their deck. In fact, do I sacrifice? Sacrifice at beginning of next end step. All right, let's go ahead and kill this now because at least two other creatures are gonna die this turn, and if they Meat Hook Massacre, I want it off board anyway. Yep. So resolve everything, and I just won't commit anything else to the board if my opponent does nothing, because we don't want to die to Meat Hook Massacre, which would wipe the board, would put opponent back in it. Takenuma Cycle. Alright, they milled the Meat Hook Massacre. They got a Tenacious Underdog to the graveyard, picking up Wealth, which they can't cast this turn. Wealth might not have been the best thing in the world, but we're going to send in a Tenacious Underdog. I think I'm okay with that, and I'll just block with the crap here. This is going to draw them a card. And this doesn't really do anything anymore now that the blood and the Blood Artist are gone. So 4, 5, 6, yeah, I'm just not, well, hold on, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that copies 12, 13, 14. No, that's still not lethal, so I'm just not going to commit this Brazen Borrower to the board. That's pretty good. I will cast that. And I can take both cards if they're good. Which I think I'll do. Might also be close to just milling them out. So we're going to jam here. Exile 6 from the top of their library. And get a good look at most of their library here. Okay, let's go ahead and make another blocker for this Tenacious Underdog. And then let's Thoughtseize their ooze away. Play that. I guess maybe I should hold on to that land unless there's some weird situation where they get Ob Nixilis back and I want to discard it instead of taking 2, but alright, I think this one's pretty well over. They draw a card. If I block, they draw a card now. Oh, they're going to Ashiok. Yeah, we just don't even do anything here. Because if I block, they draw the card now rather than drawing the card on their end step, so they can't cast like a Meat Hook Massacre. So let's just make it not even matter. We will not show them that, and we'll jam here. Oh, I should have... You know what I should have done there? Not that it matters. We got him with the deck out as well. Okay, they conceded. We should have... never mind, Ashiok's on 2. I was going to say we should have bounced the Sanguine Brushstroke because they might have exiled a different card and given us more information, but we do have a general idea of pretty much every card here. Sedgemoor Witch, Valky is good to know about. Yeah, I mean, it's black aggro plus black aggression. Not a lot of red in the deck. I know I saw Lightning Strike. So Lightning Strike, Ob Nixilis, and Valky are pretty much the only red cards. And yeah, we know what it is. It's just a bunch of recursive things. Again, Brawl blocks anything that's just really, really bad on the draw. Sin Prodder might be really bad. Opponent kept in for removal. Massacre, Blood Chief's Thirst, Fatal Push. Actually very light on removal, so I feel like I could get away with some creatures. I wish I could play this. I mean, this is the matchup where I think... I wonder if I could cut, like, black and have access to this plus this. I wonder if that's not, like, a terrible idea. Because this... Well, I guess I have to sack a permanent for this one. So, maybe not. Maybe we don't get too cute there. Baral's really the only thing I'm considering here to block. They can just kind of take damage off Sin Prodder. It's a lot worse on the draw. They, like, Fatal Push my 3-drop creature or something like that. I'll bring in Baral here to block. Like, I don't know. Doesn't even block any of these things particularly well. Guess if it's not blocking, is it doing anything? This might be better. Baral does make my spells cheaper. That might matter. Okay. I think I'm just going to roll like this, taking Sin Prodder out for Baral. And not really futzing with anything else. I think there is a small case for... bringing in like March of Otherworldly Light, but I have basically no mana fixing for it, and I'm already having trouble drawing black sometimes. So let's roll like this, see what happens. We're on the draw against black aggro, so we're gonna need a pretty good hand. I really needed to get my hands on a Storm's Wrath or Chandra or some sort of black sweeper. Demonic Tutor, huh? Demonic Tutor for, like, Kolagon's Command. On the draw, we have mana. We don't have interaction here, which is unfortunate, but don't think we ship this either. Demonic Tutor gives us a little bit of flexibility. We've got the Reckoner Raid again on one. Oh, I guess they have Inquisition in their deck as well. Oh, Dread Fugue. Alright, that's going to take my Tutor, I assume. That leaves me dead in the water to top decking now. Yep. Take Tutor, draw land. I do want black mana in play, so I'm going to keep that instead of holding it to cycle. This could be a really fast game, depending on what our draws look like. Croxa's not great here. Okay, Inquisition take away Croxa is kind of the same thing as me just casting Croxa. Opponent kept one lander. Alright, well, I've got nothing going on. You've got a one lander, but that means your hand is probably full of castable spells. Hey, look, I kept a one-lander and kind of got away with it, but... Opponent could use a soul ring. Nope, they're in it. They're in it. They gave me a turn's reprieve. Undercity Plunder's not bad. I can just discard 2 lands here. Oh, I only discard 1 card and then I choose to discard another. I will just discard another land. That actually gets me closer to Kroxa. That being said, I don't have the second black. I've also drawn nothing but lands so far. I mean, if they don't have 2-drop creatures and they're missing lands, they probably got a bunch of beaters. That one's good. Considers a good draw. It's a considerable draw. Kefnet, a turn off is annoying. This thing's going to start dealing a little bit of damage. Doesn't specialize for a while. And they're limited to 2 versions, but man, they did hit the lands. I am more alive than I would be in like most situations, because I've got to imagine their hand is all like their good 3-drops and stuff like that. This dies to Fatal Push because they can sack Goat. Does not actually currently die to ooh, I just Kroxa here. Kroxa does die to Fatal Push. Get a card out of their hand this way. This opens me up to, on a later turn, I guess I could cast either 4-drop here, but this opens me up either 4-drop to be able to draw like an interactive 2-mana spell and play one of my 4-drops, but this gets a card out of their hand while we know they have all gas. Okay, they discarded City Stalker Connoisseur. That's a good one. We'll see if we untap with Kroxa or not. It's very killable with either Fatal Push or Blood Chief's Thirst. Okay, I like this because this doesn't kill me. Yikes. So I think I'm going to attack in Time Warp. I could also Kefnet and not attack. This does eat a card from their hand. Seems pretty important. They probably block sack with Goat. Puts me to 14. They can't specialize yet. Kroxa blocks pretty well on board. Okay, discarded Godzilla. Okay, well, it's not optimal play there. Opponent threw away probably their best creature on board. Didn't scry. A lot of things there went in favor. Oh, this thing has Death Touch apparently. I guess that's why, yeah. That might be my mistake. Alright, we'll go Kefnet pass. Opponent did keep one more card on top here. Kefnet's pretty good with Time Warp. I mean, I don't have the Time Warp on top of my library. I'm expecting a 4-drop here. Kalitas. Spawn of Mayhem. They might not have had a place to cast it. Ooh, Village Rites is very good. Does unlock push if they drew into push. Alright, second blood token is going to make me lose a life. We got to get something going before they do. Okay, we cast a Supreme. Well, that's a good one. So they're going to know I have a counterspell, but I get a 1-mana dig here. Sorry about that. Had to, you guys hear me? You guys hear me? No. Okay, sorry about that. Had to stream this for the people who are waiting on our match. All right, we're going to Supreme Will. Look at the top 4. Have a Supreme Will active. Looking for an answer to Blood Artist at this point. Censor. Brawl to block. I guess here I probably want to go Brawl, and then I can go Brawl Time Warp. Fine, I suppose. Let's make sure this all resolves first. So we go Brawl. Uh-oh. They do have... Oh, I guess they could Woe Strider. Time Warp now, so they don't kill Baral like mid-combat or something. And get in a good hit with Kefnet here. Crooks is a pretty decent ways away. I guess if they had push, they could sack Blood Artist and then push Kefnet. Bone Crusher, I don't... reveal an instant or sorcery. This is revealing a creature, so that doesn't work. Alright, so we decline. That is my answer to Blood Artist, though. So I attack. They attack me back. I think I might just sit tight here, honestly. I'm at a pretty low life total. This would be hitting me for 3. This is going to hit me for 1. I'd be down to 7. They'd be down to 12. Actually, I could just Bone Crusher now. Let's do this. Let's go. They already cast Village Rite, so I'm not walking into... Did they cast Village Rites? Yeah, they did. So I'm not walking into Village Rites on Blood Artist here. But I do think this game... I'm going to be at my best if I get rid of Blood Artist. Oh, they can sack in response. Oh, that's so dumb. So bad, so bad. Yep. Ran into that one. Ran into that one. Opponent keeps card on top. Well, that's a type of move that ends games. I have to Supreme Will this, right? I have to Supreme Will, yeah. Opponent knows about it. This gets me closer to Kroxa. Whoa, Strider smashes here. Evolving Wild's pretty... Oh, Evolving Wild's actually amazing, because that puts Kroxa on board. Opponent also didn't attack me for 3. Evolving Wild's better than a land, for sure. And this gets the last card. Okay, well, everything kind of worked out there. So we eat their last card. Oh, Blood Chief's Thirst. That should do it. Yep. It's Jam. That deals 3 to them. They have to chump block Kroxa. And they just die. Alright. Sweet. Good game. Alright, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for match number 2. A little bit of grind going on here. Got lucky this game. Like, hardcore lucky. Opponent kept a 1-lander. Bricked for a turn. Didn't get their aggressive start. We drew fairly well there. A lot of things came together. Seems to be the story of the night. But that's going to put us into match number 3, which I'll be back for here in just a moment. And here we are back for the finals against Reptar, aka Lucas, who hasn't played with us too much recently, but decided he would dip in and try to steal the crown from me tonight. So we're playing for the finals here. The big money. Deck's been playing out well so far. This is not a 1-lander we keep. This, however, is a 1-lander we keep. So I've seen a Grixis matchup, a mono red matchup, and then I know there's another Rakdos or rather mono black. There's another Rakdos, another Grixis. Lucas has to be some sort of like green, blue, white deck. He can't be in the Rakdos spectrum. It's basically impossible. This sets me up for turn 2 Demonic Tutor or Kroxa. I'm on the play. Opponent's taking a mulligan, I believe. This seems good. Alright, if I have to mulligan, I would prefer opponent mulligans as well. Alright, blue, huh? Blue. Let's just play Kroxa here. Eat another card from their hand. get a little bit more information. That sets us up for the turn 3 expressive iteration. Blue-white. I know there's a blue-white, or rather Bant Blink deck at the table. Stowaway's annoying. Wow, that solves that problem. So here... do I want an iteration... I guess I could iteration... That's annoying, because I definitely want to get this while I can. Maybe I go Unholy Heat and I just Demonic Tutor. Is this like blue-white tempo or something? But I don't know what I'm tutoring for. The problem is, if this doesn't hit a red source, I might just be throwing away a card off of it. I could see Unholy Heat pass or Demonic Tutor. Saving this for a different turn. We know this is going here. Question is, what are we tutoring for? I think we... Let's see, what could we tutor for here? Could just get a Kefnet. Could get a Kolagon's Command. Agent of Rafine. Cybus Siphoner actually seems pretty good because it just gets back the Demonic Tutor. That's actually not a bad idea. Might be able to Expressive Iteration and Siphoner next turn. I think I'm going to go for that. And it's going to look like I tutored for an answer to kill this Stowaway. Yeah, this is just an additional copy. It can get back this Unholy Heat if that's what I need. Alright, opponent pass in. I think I'll just cast this. Blue light control, blue light control. Okay, that is fine. I just Siphoner now, get back Demonic Tutor. I guess I can Siphoner in opponent's end step. Brutal Cathar with nothing on board. Oh, it's nighttime? How's that possible? Okay, let's go ahead and Siphoner. I will get back, I guess, just Demonic Tutor. Seems better than K command. Tutor for Fire Prophecy or something like that. And just kill this. And then what if they stick to Fairy? Don't really want my opponent to stick to Fairy. How much do I care about this right now? Probably not too much, I don't think. I guess I could also attack if they block. I could K command to get this back. No, that doesn't work. It's not a trigger. I've already talked about this. I guess I'm a little worried about it to Fairy here, but I'm going to just sit tight. Brazen Borrower, I suppose. Let's go ahead and take our lumps. Ouch. Chart a course. It's pretty good. It's like tempo control, kind of. Okay. And we're opting. Sure. I think I just play Brazen Borrower and try to race him on the board. Oh, that does turn back, doesn't it? But that's fine. I can K command now. They cast 2 spells, so they wanted to flip that. I don't think they wanted to take that, though. That could have backfired on them super hard. We K command now, right? K command, kill this, get back Kroxa. Or I guess kill this, hit you for a card, and then attack for 5. Discard this way. Brazen Borrower never leaves the battlefield. They have something in. They have Ephemerate? Or they were deciding what card. Oh, so they're like blink-ish. All right, there's more to this story. We're not settled in on what's happening here. They can activate that. So I think we just go in with Borrower, keep this up, not go for anything super greedy here. Just don't get got by Hall of the Storm Giant. Shark is an option. Sublime Epiphany we don't want to play into. Apparition. I think I say okay to Apparition. Give me a 3/3 at some point anyway. I could also just do this. I could do this for 2 cards. This seems pretty good. If that's the case, I should do it now. Nah. I can go ahead and exile Brazen Borrower and get a 3/3 off of it at some point. Don't think they have Counterspell. I'll take those 2. Okay, so now still off a little bit there. Let's go and attack. There's no way they block. Oh, that gives me a 3/3. And I get the Cyber Siphoner back. Resolve that. Let's evolve in Wilds for a Swamp. Let's tutor? What am I tutoring for? I don't even know what I'd be tutoring for here. The counterspells aren't great. I guess I could get actual counterspell. That keeps me pretty safe from kind of anything they could cast. Seems like they got nothing going on in hand. That can go graveyard. It's good for Kroxa. Thoughtseize. That's what we want to see. So I guess I just go Kroxa with Counterspell back up here. So black, black, red, red. Look at that. Perfect. Kroxa plus Counterspell mana. Do this now. Exile my not spells. Not that one. This, and this. Keep Kolaghan's Command, Demonic Tutor in graveyard in case we draw Cyber Siphoner again. Seem like the best ones. If we just remove this 3/3. Ooh, it was Sublime Epiphany. Alright. We will counter Epiphany. Now this Kroxa deals 3 and I get in 3 damage. That does explain the eager block there, as they just had a way to remove this illusion. Alright. Okay. Against blue-white control, but not creatureless blue-white control. Didn't see any Wraths, but also didn't see a huge portion of the deck. At least 3 creatures and some blink stuff. I guess this can just be a control card. Let's see. Probably don't want to add more removal here. Baral seems fine. This is like one of those Sin Prodder matchups, right? It's definitely one of those Sin Prodder matchups. And I just hate Search for Escant on the draw, although this might be the type of grindy game where I want that sort of late game velocity. Removal spells again. I think I ditch Fiery Prophecy. I think I keep most of the counter magic here. Don't have a particularly good answer to... I probably want Painful Bond as well. Yeah, I don't have a great answer to Hall of the Storm Giant, but that's okay. Agent's good. Thoughtseize is great. Hard Evidence gets a lot worse when your opponent's not attacking you with creatures that matter. Still a fine card. Everything else, for the most part, I kind of like. Let's just cut a slow cantrip here. That feels fine. All right. Let's do it, Lucas. See what you got. Sublime Epiphany, huh? Haven't run into Gear Hulk yet. Haven't run into Shark Typhoon. Oh, turn 1 Agent of Rafine is so good against this. I don't have red mana for Kolaghan's Command at the moment. I have red mana for Kolaghan's Command now. Alright, let's get this going and just try to draw cards from the opponent's deck. They've got cards I want to cast. Alright, Stowaway's good. Alright, well I have to do that now. I just have to do that. Alright, let's get that off board and hit him with Agent. Man, they might snag this with Skyclave Apparition. That's okay. Alright, it's nighttime. Let's just sit tight. Something they can cast there. Futurist Spell Thief, huh? I wonder if they didn't have a 3-drop there. I think I'm okay letting this resolve and just K command in for the 2-for-1. Discard and kill your 3/2. Get ahead on the card race here. Still have to deal with this Agent. Although I did leave the door open for them to drop some sort of walker here. And now I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to play an untapped land so that I can just go Censor plus draw here. They could go for like Wandering Emperor. They have no 4-mana instant. That's good to know. Can snag it to Fairy on the way down. Wrath this thing. Okay, let's draw from opponent's library and let's censor that. Spar's Headquarters. They don't get to know the card either, which is sweet. Beautiful, beautiful. Where's my nice? Where's my nice? I don't know. Anyway, same deal. Let's go ahead and play blue, black, blue, white, green. I mean, it's just better to have. Yeah, this lets you cast the cards with any color. I guess this one, it doesn't matter. Let's put the colors that we care about in our deck. Keep up Counterspell plus draw a card plus Painful Bond here. Clone Crafter. Hits a creature from my deck. Do I care about the creatures in my deck? That could be a lot of pretty good creatures. We're going to do this. Malevolent Hermit's fine. I think I just let this resolve. If they get something they have to cast like right now. It has to be something that's in my deck, so it can't be Bone Crusher. Could be Cyber Siphoner or Kefnet. Those are actually pretty gnarly targets to hit. Sin Prodder. Get him. Oh, Concrafter did get my counterspell in the end there. Okay. I will play a Bone Crusher, holding up Counterspell, and just ride Agent here to victory, potentially. Keep up blue, blue. I'm going to play Xander's Lounge because it still keeps them guessing about which card I got. And see what happens. Poppet Stitcher. Do I care about Poppet Stitcher? Kind of, but also I think I'll be fine against that one. Maybe that's ignorant. Maybe that's just incorrect. I'll keep taking your cards, please. A Ganjo. That's a good one to know about. Yeah, that's a pretty good pickup. That is a reason to play Spar's Headquarters, because I can't actually activate that ability without white. Let's go ahead and get in with Bone Crusher. I will play Spar's Headquarters. Opponent debating the double block, maybe. Play Spar's Headquarters. Play Malevolent Hermit. Pass turn. This Agent of Rafine has just been ridiculous. It has been so good. Essence Scatter. This still goes to my graveyard, I think, but gives them the 2/2. Okay, that is fine. This does put some damage on board for opponent. But I'm not going to fight over that. These decayed zombies aren't persistent damage. I mean, they are if this gets flipped. Hall of the Storm Giant's almost active as well. Glasspool Mimic as a copy of Stitcher. That's pretty good. I think this is counterable. I have the counter spell. I will go... well, let's use the counter spell here, because I have Agent of Ravine. Let's just, hopefully not let that one resolve. They have Reject. Also, they might go for the Clone Crafter. Alright, we're going to take 4 here, it looks like. Just 2 is fine as well. That does mean that they want to flip this. We'll have a Ganjo active this next turn. Thraben Inspector. Alright. Just keep playing lands. Attack. Inspector is good, and I think we're gonna play this for 3. Why is it 3? I thought it was 5 on the back. 3 disturbs pretty good. This keeps up Ganjo, Agent of Ravine, Clue Token. And I think here I will target... actually, we want to leave ourselves vulnerable to Epiphany. I think we need to do that. Okay. We have identified Bone Crusher Giant as a threat. We've also neutralized the Puppet Stitcher. Here, I think we can just pass, right? Don't need to do anything. Don't need to play into Sublime Epiphany. Brutal Cathar on the Nightbound side. That's fine. I have this Unholy Heat. Fable. That's going to target the agent. Oh, it comes in Nightbound, right. So I don't want to cast another spell this turn, otherwise it flips. I'll take my 2 here. Yeah, that was going to get its 2 damage in sometime this game, but I think opponent was probably right to hold on to it and see if they could flip Puppet Stitcher, make those more persistent threats. Chart a course. Opponent's at 9. I'm gonna play Fable. Actually, I could cast Chart a Course here. Ashiok, huh? I think I could just afford to play this really safe and just not flip my opponent's werewolf. What's Awara playing? Okay, that makes sense. This is a 7/7. Alright, you jam with the 3/3 and the 7/7. Okay, yep, this makes sense. So I'm gonna chump this and I'm gonna Ganjo this. I will have to pay 3 life. But let's do that. Actually, we can draw from Agent first. Keep up that white mana. Plains. Alright. Yeah, we Ganjo, deal 4 to this, pay for ward, and Thraben Inspector dies the good death. Now we just draw Demonic Tutor. Can we tutor for something that wins here? Let's find out. Croaks is pretty good. Time Warp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. plus a land drop. Time Warp seems excellent. Okay, so we do that. Attack here. Play Mirror plus Time Warp. And then we kill this and attack for 5. Play that Plains. Alright. GG. Alright, Agent of Rafine. Theo, if you're watching, I will concede the card is good. It drew... We played it on turn 1. I think activated it like almost every single turn from turn 3 to like turn 11. Probably drew like 6 or 7 cards off of it. Kind of absurd. That's it. We trophied. We 3-0'd tonight. Took down some pretty good opponents. Thanks for all the matches, everybody. Yeah, the deck was pretty sweet. Let's just give it another look real quick. For what it's worth, Grixis is kind of the 3-color deck of choice for our cube. Just everything pairs up very well. You can build Grixis in a number of different ways. Obviously, there was like a build available with Sprite Dragon, Young Pyromancer, Soulscar Mage, where I could have gone super aggro. Grixis cards just complement each other very well, but this played out super nicely. Didn't have a lot of answers to big threats, like the 4/4s actually killed us, but we got to dodge mono green, or green-based ramp decks, which is probably one of our worst matchup. I think we are good against the other control decks, and we're good against kind of small ball creature decks. But we probably dodged Boros and green-based ramp, which are decks that probably kill us a decent amount of the time. Very sweet set. Always happy to trophy, obviously. That's going to go ahead and do it for this one, though. Thanks for joining us. As always, if you want to get in on the action yourself, you can find us in the Discord links down below. We drafted this cube that you just saw on Sundays. We have different variable cubes that we draft on Wednesdays. 7:30 Eastern is the start time for every event. And if you I guess if you're in the top half of however many people join us for the drafts, you do get gems through Matcherino. There's no entry fee, nothing like that. Just come have a good time, play some cube, let us know what your thoughts are. That is going to wrap it up here. Again, my name is Timothy with Jank Diver Gaming. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.